Hey there, this is Dara Connolly, your fearless confidence coach. And in this video today, I'm going to teach you how to speak more confidently. Let's do it. All right, I'm excited to drop for you my 3 top tips on how to speak more confidently. I always try to bring something that you haven't heard before. So tip number 1, we're going to jump right in here, is that I want you to listen more than you speak. Okay, so Dara, this is a tip on how to speak more confidently, and you're telling me to listen. Yes, because most of us speak too much. And if you're in a social setting and you're trying to convince the person of something or share your idea or just have a casual conversation, we lose that connection if we're too busy thinking about what we're going to say and not paying attention to what was just shared. So if you want to be a better speaker, I want to challenge you to be a better listener. So how does this work? Let's say you're about to walk out onto a stage. You're a professional speaker. You want to get out there and speak in front of 50, 1,000, 10,000 people. How can you listen to the audience when you're supposed to be the one talking? Well, I want you to get to that event a little bit earlier and talk to the members of the audience, talk to the meeting planners, talk to the person who hired you, and ask them, what are the main concerns of people in the audience? This way you can gauge what you're going to talk about. Look, the purpose of communication is not just to speak to be heard. We're not here to just spit out information onto somebody. We're here to make a connection, to maybe teach them something, to have other people see our point of view. How can we know where they're coming from if we have no idea where they're coming from? We have to find out ahead of time. So you have to gauge how other people are feeling in the conversation. Ask them questions. What do you think about that? What is your opinion on that? How do you feel about that? And listen. So tip number 1 is to listen, because you are going to learn that by better listening, it helps you become a better speaker because you know what to talk about. You know where to direct the conversation. Don't you hate it when you're listening to somebody, when you're sharing your story with somebody and the first thing they do is go, yeah, that happened to me too. They're not even listening to you and you feel invisible. So take the time to listen. Tip number 2 is I want you to embrace your weaknesses. That's right. We all have weaknesses when it comes to communicating. Some of us talk too fast. Some of us talk too slow. Some of us don't speak loud enough. Some of us are maybe a little too movie. Embrace your weakness. Because what I want you to do is understand what it is, be aware of it, and don't try to cover it up or hide it, but use it to your advantage. If you're a fast talker like I tend to be, you can make a joke of it. I'm going to say this really quick. Hopefully you catch it. Were you paying attention? Here we go. That will connect with people in the audience. Again, we talked about in tip 1 that the most important thing about communicating is connection. So can you use your weakness for a connection? You know, as a confidence coach and a speaker coach, I know a lot of times my clients will say, oh, I get so nervous when I speak on stage. My hands shake, maybe I break out in hives. Does this happen to you? Happens to so many people. And what I say is use that because what I want you to do is make something light about it so other people don't feel uncomfortable. You're not going to get up there and go, oh my God, I'm so nervous. I'm really paranoid. I don't know if I'm going to remember what. You don't need to go overboard, but you can say, I'm a little nervous to be with you today. I'm excited about this presentation. Here we go. And what that does is just breaks the ice. It takes it out of there. There's no mystery because you put it out there. You've already told people what your weakness is. So you're not going to have to feel uncomfortable about it anymore. Remember, the audience is rooting for you. They want to see you succeed. So by putting it out there and saying, I'm a little nervous today, or I'm excited to be with you, it helps give them an opportunity to root for you and cheer for you, which is what they want to do. So many times we're trying too hard to be perfect. We try to re-edit our videos if we stumble on our words, or we make sure that if it's too dark, we cut it and put in better lighting. All those things are important, but look, connection is more important than anything. And if you're trying to speak with confidence, making mistakes is all part of the game. It's okay to be someone who makes mistakes because you're human. Don't try to cover it up or have people think you're something that you're not. Just be you and you'll notice people will like you. Okay, now before I get to tip 3, It's a good time to remind you to smash that subscribe button so you're notified when I publish new content. And don't forget to check out after this video the link below for DaraConnollyCLUB, because you're going to love the content in there. Okay, so we talked about, let's recap. Tip 1 is to listen more than you speak, because you want to be able to understand the needs and concerns of the people you're speaking to. And when you do that through listening. Tip 2 is to embrace your weaknesses. Don't make a big deal of it. You know, don't think of your weakness as a hindrance to who you are. Just embrace it. Say something light about it, and other people will like you for it, and it'll get them to connect with you, and it puts it out there so you're not as nervous about it. And tip 3 is to limit the amount of questions you ask. Now, why am I saying this? Because a confident person, you think, oh, a confident person can ask questions or say whatever they want. Sure, a confident person has no problems asking questions. But if you tend to ask too many questions or not the right questions, it's going to make you look a little bit off here. So what we're looking for is quality of questions over quantity. So how do we do this? And sometimes in casual conversations, people have the tendency to upspeak or turn their statements into questions. So they'll say something like, this presentation will be 15 minutes long, and then we'll take a break. Is that okay? Ask less questions. This presentation is 15 minutes long, and then we'll take a break. When we do this, we show more confidence in our speaking. This is common in ordinary situations. We tend to do this. So if you notice that when you're speaking, you tend to turn everything into a question, probably doing it because you want the other person to like you. You think it's innocent, it feels innocent, but what happens is they start to doubt your confidence. So save your questions for when it really is a true question that you want to ask, like, I'm not sure, I have a question here, let me ask this. Or if you're on the stage and you're managing the questions, you could say, yeah, hold that question till the end. But as the speaker, don't ask too many questions. So what does this look like? Because I love to make things practical. You're walking down the street, you run into a friend, you start having a casual conversation. Now, we put it together. They start asking us about our weekend. We talk a little bit about it, and then we ask them, so how was your weekend? What'd you do? Did you guys end up going on that camping trip? Oh, well, how was it? Where'd you go? What was the weather like? What kind of food did you make? If you ask too many questions, it's not only annoying, it starts to feel too inquisitory. Like, what are you writing, a book? So it's more important to ask quality questions over quantity. And to recap, make sure you're not ending your sentences in a question. You're stating it as a fact. We're going to end it like this. There's so much more I can teach you on this topic. We like to keep these videos short. So be sure you not only subscribe and hit the like button, but you also comment or reshare this video with someone else who can use a little bit more confidence in their speaking. And now that I've taught you how to speak more confidently, you're not going to want to miss my next video, which is how to be a more confident speaker when in public. So those of you who aspire to be public speakers, you're going to want to click that video below. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And until then, you are amazing.